Now, Ireland, what is going on in Ireland with the migrant situation? The Taoiseach of Ireland has said that the government must do more to engage with people who have genuine questions over the provision in the context of increased migration. Basically, people are hacked off. They're hacked off that they're losing out on accommodation, that houses are not being built for the locals, jobs, all sorts of things, violent clashes. Dougie Beattie even. We're going to go to Dougie, who's been across this now for a couple of days. Dougie, what is the backlash like? I know you've got particular instances to talk about and whatever, but basically put people in the context of what seems to have gone wrong here.
Well, Eamon, over the last 10 years, Ireland's population has swollen due to the amount of immigration that has came in. And before they came in, there was no infrastructure for those immigrants that were arriving here. So we have seen tented cities in Dublin, along the canal. Most of the beautiful spots of Dublin have had immigrants sleeping in them, and the rubbish that goes with it. Many of the local communities have been pushed very, very hard. In fact, Simon Harris says in that statement, he said that they were wanting to get their hotels and bed and breakfast back, because if you go out around Ireland in many of the beautiful holiday resorts, etc., and small villages, it is very hard to get a hotel place, well, simply because there's that many immigrants that have came in. So it's almost like putting the horse before, the cart before the horse, where they've took them in and there's no infrastructure for them. Now it's getting to breaking point in Ireland, and people are saying enough, that's it, we can't take any more. So they've decided to try and put in migrant centres, and where they've decided to do that, with the first one of them, is in a place called Coolock. I'm just standing on the Malahide Road here, and this was a former industrial site. I mean, Ireland's economy was actually built by the people that really worked here when Ireland was a manufacturing and industrial area, very much like the northeast of England, and these sites have laid derelict for quite a while, and the locals here asked for these sites to be used for social housing or infrastructure such as schools, doctors, surgeries, etc., and they were denied that right to have that. So they have now decided to put an immigration centre in here. It is said that there'll be up to 1,500 men coming into this area, and the locals have very much pushed back against this and continue to push back against it. In fact, I'm joined by one now that spent most of the day here. Dave, just you stand in there for us. Tell us, what is your problems with this?
What the problem here is, right, they want to put 500 men into a building it's not suitable for purpose. For starters, an asbestos roof in there. Asbestos is a very highly dangerous substance. Like. There's a place over here called the Leisureplex where the kids play. It's one of the only amenities in the whole area. You know what I mean? They want to put 500 migrants in there that, you know, you can't do it. There's nothing around here. There's been nothing around here for years. The place is derelict. 4 years that's derelict. They wouldn't do anything for anyone around here. And all of a sudden these people, look at the amount of homelessness in our own country, our own people living in hotels and all this can't put out now. Where are they going to go? They're going to end up in the streets.
So the politicians here are saying that they are now going to start engaging with the community. Would you be happy if the community got some of the infrastructure that you want, or, I mean, would that just still be a no?
Well, we wouldn't have them here anyway. Look, we have criminals here. We're a deprived area, yeah? We have our own social problems. We always did. That's what it is. But it's our area. We don't want other people's problems. You know what I mean? It's hard enough to live around here. You know what I mean? There's a small enough police force around here. You bring 500 men sitting there all day. Do what? To do what? They're not allowed to work when they come in. They've no passports. Who are they? Look what happened in America in the 80s. When Cuba emptied their prisons, they sent them over to America and the place erupted. It's going to happen here. It's going to happen all over this country. People want to wake up and see what's happening here.
So there you go. That is the local take on this. They are pretty much angry about what has happened here, and especially last week when one of the local councillors was pepper sprayed by the Garda Síochána when he tried to go up and sort out what was happening here and try to defuse the situation. So locals are very much feeling that they are being isolated and not listened to.
It's just unsustainable, Dougie. That's the problem. I mean, you hear there 1,500 men coming into that neighbourhood where you are, and in Belfast, you're down south, but up north in Belfast, where you're from. I was there recently and they told me there were 22 hotels taken out of circulation. You can't get a hotel room in Belfast. 22 given over to migrants.
As you say, unsustainable. It can't go on.
And people are regarded, like that gentleman there behind you, will be made out to be unreasonable. People don't live their lives. Why are politicians so out of touch with how people feel on this?
Well, I mean, Eamon, you and I come from Belfast. We have known the politics of division, and mostly we have actually known what happens when a police force is put in to correct a political problem. It usually villainises the police force to both communities that are there, and that causes more problems down the line. So really what they have to look at is, do they stop taking immigrants until they have the infrastructure in place, or do they try and push this through? And it very much looks at this stage as if the Irish government are going to take the European directive to push through this immigration plan. And it has caused a 3-month standoff in this area, and it is really coming to a head now.